Hello, I have to get my microphone plugged in. Okay. Alright. Alright, so now that I have my microphone plugged in, you should probably be able to hear me, and I have to change the output device to that. Alright. So yeah, we're doing another alternative future of the world, like there's not enough of these, or like I haven't done like 5 before. We're using the old map from like the second one, or the first, I don't know. The only change in the map is that Russia annexed Donbass, and it's a puppet state in South Ukraine. And other than that, we are completely new. There's a completely fresh start. So I guess we'll start with some, current developments, with America basically invading Venezuela. Now in most cases I would put the US in the red since they're the aggressors, but honestly, this color is determined more by ideology. So for the record, blue actually means, well, in all other cases but this, it'll mean like defenders. So basically, I'll be referring to the side that is defending as the blue team, and the side that is attacking as the red team. That's how Adams Pro does it, so I do it too. So yeah, basically, America's like invaded. So basically, America's done some strikes in Venezuela, but right now a ground invasion seems unlikely, as technically, the acting president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, has to hold elections, and the U.S. demands that the elections be free and fair. So, let's assume there's, like, major opposition protests in Venezuela, and the U.S., like, militarily intervenes, setting up, like, a government. Also, they captured this island, I don't know, I forgot what it's named, So other nations will declare support for the U.S. or Venezuela. So Brazil's President Lula da Silva openly sided with Maduro, but only in rhetoric, and rhetoric will only get you so far. Guyana also joins the American coalition because they have border disputes with Venezuela and also hate the Maduro government. Cuba openly sides with Venezuela. Also, America owns this island. And then for the nations that side with America, that would be like Argentina. That's all. I mean, that's all of them I can think of. Like Argentina, El Salvador, maybe. And yeah, this is probably going to be the general standing. Colombia and every other nation remains, like, explicitly neutral, except for China. They do express support for Maduro. And I think maybe Russia, too. But Russia would definitely, or potentially Russia. I mean, I guess yeah, I don't really know, but, anyways, yeah, I guess we're gonna have this continue. So major protests break out in Venezuela and in America. So, like, America's protests, like, everywhere, practically. There's some in D.C., there's some in New York, LA. I mean, let's not mention the protests in America, since they don't actually turn violent. The protests in Venezuela do, though, because, like, they're actively being invaded by a foreign power, so, like, then, I think Caracas is, like, here. Apologies if I'm wrong, but, it doesn't really matter. I mean, because, like, Venezuela's losing anyway. So then, like, Colombia... So Colombia will, like, stay neutral. Then America encircles, like, Caracas or something. And, yeah. Caracas is placed under siege. Like a really, really horribly deadly siege. I do think that America would eventually come out on top, but it would be costly. So then the war is over. So now for the borders to be redrawn. I think Trump could probably justify giving Guyana a bit of, like, Venezuela. That is probably what would happen. Well, if they join the war, at least, which that itself is a bit up in the air. So anyways, now, boom, 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 and there you go. That's the Venezuela war done. Now, the next endeavor in America, the Iran. So yeah, so basically, Iran is facing major protests right now, and they are escalating, so there is a possibility that America could intervene and, like, reinstall the monarchy, though they're probably not going to do that. So, like, the protests aren't really turning the protests are turning violent. Please ignore the background noise, that's my brother. So, like, there's not really any, like, place where, like, so essentially, America intervened. So America also intervenes on the side of the protests, because, on the side of the protesters, because, like, why not? So, also, Saudi Arabia joins the war, and also, Israel, and, like, I think Turkey also would, because, and potentially, like, Azerbaijan. So, like, mainly because there's actually, they would probably intervene because, like, lots of Azeris live in, like, this area. So, so the first thing that Turkey has to do is, like, invade. They have to, like, launch an offensive, like, very quickly to, like, catch the Iranians off guard. Also, Armenia does stuff. Also, Armenia joins the war on the side of the Allies. Or not the... I guess they're not the Allies. On the side of, like, the... So, like, the blue team is, like, it's called, like, the coalition of the and the coalition of the second coalition of the willing, because a lot of these Turkey and America, Turkey and America were part of the first coalition of the willing, the one that invaded Iraq in 2003. Actually, they went that way, not from the Turkish border. That's just mountains. So yeah, then so Saudi Arabia providing the launch pad for the invasion of Iran. They began, I think that's called like the Hormuz, I think. And then like there's also a bunch of ethnic separatist groups here. There's the Arabs here, the Balachis there, the Azeris here, or I guess they're not, well, they're just ethnic groups. Only some of them are actually separatist. So the invasion of the Hormuz would be a horrible slug because, I mean, the Iranian military isn't that weak. They're actually decently strong. So yeah, they also have allies like paramilitaries in Iraq, Hamas in Palestine, and Hezbollah in Lebanon. And then Syria is sort of like sandwiched. They're nominally a Turkish ally, but they're nominally like allied to Turkey, but there's lots of like Iran also has like lots of influence over them. So like there's like a Ba'athist, I think that's how it's pronounced. There's like Ba'athist insurgents in like western Syria, which is going to be massive like pain for the coalition. If they get involved, if they intervene in the Syria stuff, which they probably won't. So like the Lebanon stuff is like really complicated. I don't know that much about it, but yeah. Generally I think Hezbollah would probably be defeated. But yeah, definitely would cause a brutal insurgency war though. Speaking of insurgency war, the insurgencies in western Syria would probably mostly vanish, or not vanish, but like they would be more restricted to like the coast. So a ground invasion of Iraq wouldn't end well. We learned that from 2003. But it's kind of their only option, considering like, so yeah, they get Kuwait on board. And yeah, they spearhead into Iraq, which is quite unstable right now. So yeah, the Iraqi government would just straight up collapse. Actually, no, the Iraqi government is on like the Iraqi like a military council. That Iraqi government. That's the one I'm referring to. Also Kurds are like, they're a bit of an active group in this general area. Also, they would capture, like, Tabriz, which is a major, I guess not a major, okay, well, it's a big city. Yeah, then the Ba'athist insurgents lose, because, they're just getting sandwiched. Yeah, like, also, Jordan joins the coalition. They wouldn't do much as this like, I think it's a military regime or like a radical Islamist regime, I don't know. Hold on, wait a minute, that's yeah, more like that. That would generally be okay, no. Okay, wait. Yeah, so Iraq is cooked. And then yeah, that's and then also invasion of Khuzestan would begin. There's a decent amount of people in this region, and so it could work. So yeah, basically now, so now most of Iran is, yeah, there's now, like, pockets of Iranian soldiers. There's gonna be a lot of these because, like, that's how, like, warfare on this war would go. There's gonna be lots of just, like, open pockets that... Sorry about that. My dad came into the room. Anyways, so yeah, the Iran War, which is what we're calling this now. Yeah, like, yeah, it would just be a brutal, like, slog. Sort of like, the First Punic War, but shorter. But yeah, it would generally, meet the same pattern, and the Romans, the second coalition of the willing, would win a battle, but not take that, would lose a lot of men, not take that much land, and sometimes the Iranians, sometimes the Carthaginians, aka, in this analogy, the Iranians would hold and sometimes push back, only for the second coalition to counter again. That's yeah, it's something from Simplified. So generally most of, like, this area with a lot of Azeris in it, this area would fall, and, right? Yeah, they'd start moving towards the capital, Tehran, which actually isn't the capital, or actually no, it probably would still be, though Iran would be, like, planning to move it. What's going on there? Anyways, yeah, so, from this point on, the Iran would mostly disintegrate because most of their major cities have been taken, including the capital, Tehran. I mean, and then, like, most of this area would... And then, like, there would be, like, I guess a couple insurgencies in, like, the mountains. And, like, I don't know, I'm just drawing lines, in, like, the actual war, they would be a bit more precise, yeah. Like, I'm just drawing things, but yeah. Probably something in, like, Khuzestan, probably something in Kurdistan, so... But yeah, like, most of this, most of that would just disintegrate, as a new Iranian government could now actually be formed. It's unclear whether the it is unclear whether a monarchy or a republic would be set up. Generally, I think a republic is more likely. So, but I don't know. I don't know. Anything could happen. Literally anything could happen. Maybe they reinstall the Qajars. They're probably not gonna do that. Which makes sense. There's a reason the Qajars were pretty much just puppets of the British. But yeah, like after so yeah, now there's just a civil war in Iran, and it's gonna continue like that. So I will actually now make. Hold on. So I will now make Iran like. So I'll now make the Iranian government like purple compared to the Islamic insurgencies green. But like light green because they're disorganized. I don't know. So yeah, that's the thing now. So yeah, also it's like 2028 now. So the whole Greenland dispute between America and like Denmark, and I think Norway was involved through like some weird. But yeah, like that would that would probably I don't think it. Yeah, that would. That would probably get like resolved in some way. I'm not gonna predict the result of the 2026 midterms, though. I think the most likely scenario is the Democrats take the House, Republicans keep their majority in the Senate, but maybe it would be like a 50-50 Senate. So JD Vance would have to be the tiebreaker, but anyways, that doesn't really matter because we are now going to the to our next conflict, the Pakistan-Afghanistan war. As basically there's lots of tension between Afghanistan and Pakistan. And this could probably become a major like proxy conflict. Yeah. So, I would probably begin with Pakistan attempting to like spearhead into Afghanistan. There's lots of Pashtuns in Pakistan, but there's also lots of Pashtuns in Afghanistan. And I think the Pashtuns originated in Afghanistan, so that's gonna be awkward. Or not awkward. I guess you could say awkward, but it's not gonna be a good time for the Pashtuns. It is not gonna be a good time for them at all. So I think in terms of like foreign support, India would probably support the Afghanistan, not because they like the Afghanistan government, but because they dislike Pakistan and want to make things as and they want to make things as painful for Pakistan as possible. So yeah, they're gonna also, I think Russia would most likely support Afghanistan. And then, like, this Iranian government would support. Actually, they would remain neutral. They don't like either party. Along with most Western nations, the Islamist insurgencies wouldn't. Well, they're actually Shia and Pakistan's Sunni. So, they would most likely remain neutral in the conflict, mainly for religious reasons. But, yeah, both countries are they're both Islamic dictatorships. So, well, no, Pakistan's not a dictatorship. I think it's like Iran. Or is it? But yeah, it's sort of like Iran, I guess. Pakistan. Yeah, they're kind of like Iran, but they're not a theocracy. Well, they are an Islamic republic, so I guess they kind of are a theocracy. Okay, I'm overthinking this. But yeah.
Apple juice.
Oh, jeez. It's my brother's eye gaze. I think so. Saudi Arabia would probably align themselves with Pakistan. Oh, jeez, that eye gaze is gonna be so annoying. I swear. Anyways, I guess I have to talk closer to the mic to counter that. Basically, yeah, Turkey would probably also support Pakistan, because they've well, the UAE, because the UAE actually they'd probably remain neutral. Yemen would actually. Yemen is actually in like a civil war. There's like the Houthi rebels that control like this area. And then there's like the Yemeni like government here. And then there's like the the former South Yemen. It used to be a thing, but it quickly got obliterated. So that's amazing.
I don't like that.
Also, yeah, that's the thing. So anyways, yeah, in the Yemen civil war, like the government would actually, I don't know if the government controls Aden, but let's just say they do because it's the future now. I think also South Yemen would mostly collapse. So now it's just combating the Houthi insurgency. So like, the U.S. would also probably intervene on the side of like the Yemeni government. So yeah, that's all right. So I will now demote these guys to just supporting, not already in a conflict. I think also the UAE Qatar might support Afghanistan, considering the Qatar supported Hamas and everything, but generally I don't think. But like, I don't know. So like generally the war would be going quite well for Pakistan. Are the Pashtuns from? Oh, the Pashtuns are actually from Pakistan. Are they? Wait. Yeah, they're from Pakistan originally. They're not originally from. Wait, no. Oh no. Well, actually, no. They just predate. I think the Pashtuns actually predate either country existing. Well, yeah, Pakistan has only existed since the 40s. Afghanistan's existed since like the medieval century, since like the medieval era, I think. Yeah, they've been around for a while, and then their monarchy got overthrown, and then like they were in a civil war for a while because like the Mujahideen, they're in a civil war. They're in like 3. Actually, yeah, that's accurate. They were in 3. Or was it? I don't know. This area is mainly mountain, but yeah, like Pakistan could probably conquer it. Provided they get past these initial mountains, they could definitely do it. Also, that's like Kabul. So with that, Afghanistan mostly capitulates. So I don't really know what would happen, but yeah, like the Taliban would fracture into faction. Yeah, the Taliban would fracture into like several factions. Like reformers, hardliners, and like traditionalists. Like Republicans, reformers, and like reformers, hardliners, and like Republicans. Not well, like I guess the Republicans are in the Taliban, but like the exiled government. Yeah, the old government that got exiled. So also like ethnic separatist groups would like plague the country. And like just revolts in general. Revolts in general. They're dead. The Taliban is cooked. So yeah, Pakistan would also definitely, Pakistan would also definitely, they'd definitely push further into Afghanistan. I mean, Afghanistan is definitely the uninvadable country, but like. Yeah, like, the old, like, Islamic Republic government that the US installed after, America invaded Afghanistan. They would, I guess, they could probably be, like, prompted to return by, like, Pakistan or something, So, like, that might. Oh, a short recap. Oh, 10 minutes late, but the U.S. invaded Venezuela, Iran is in a civil war, and Pakistan's invading Afghanistan. Literally nothing has happened. Well, I mean, not literally nothing, but, like, only 3 things have happened in, like, 34 minutes. Ouch. Also, Russia has a puppet in, like, Ukraine. And they also annexed Donbass, but that actually... Well, that didn't happen on the stream, but whatever. So, like... eventually the Civil War kind of had to end. Most likely with the UN intervention, and, yeah, that's... This war continues, most likely the new Iranian government would combat the Islamic insurgents, and generally trying to kick them out of areas. So eventually the insurgency would end, but it would be an absolutely brutal conflict. I mean, it would be absolutely brutal. Actually, most of these wars, Pakistan invading Afghanistan, the Iranian Civil War, the invasion of Venezuela, the Russo-Ukrainian War, all of that would be brutal. Also, apparently this takes place in the future, where the Netherlands drained the sea. I don't know why, they just did. So anyways, World War III is probably going to happen. And of course, it starts in, it starts in light. So it starts with China invading Taiwan. Not like... But, like, I'm actually gonna try to make it, like, half realistic. So, instead of just having America win, because yes. So, there's also a war happening in, the Congo. Which, I'll color it this way, but they're not technically... I'm only coloring it red because, the Congo's on the side of China. Rwanda isn't sided with the U.S., so I should technically be coloring them, like, completely differently. I guess they'll be yellow. Yeah, Rwanda's now yellow. They're yellow. China's allies are, like, North Korea and, yeah. Okay, well, the first country to intervene, would actually be the United States, because I think America's legally bound by a treaty to intervene, because, of course they are. So anyways, yeah, other countries pick sides, especially India. They just want to one-up, or I guess not one-up, they want to free Tibet. That's another thing they want to do, because, yeah. And also, Iran joins the conflict, and also Thailand, and, Cambodia. Okay, well, Vietnam definitely would. Cambodia's a bit iffy, and the Philippines would also definitely join, because, they don't like China. And also they're allied to the U.S. Yeah, Indonesia, I guess. Indonesia might also join. And also probably Australia. And how could I forget? New Zealand. So yeah, that's a bit of a formidable coalition. China doesn't really have any allies that are immediately willing to join. The Congo doesn't count since they're fighting it. They're fighting this is actually the M23 campaign, which is another absolutely brutal conflict that really uh, I think the front lines are something like this. So, like, on the pro Congo side is, like, literally every other country. I think, South Africa, I think, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Angola, I think? And, like, yeah, I don't really, hold on. I mean, I've studied the Congo Wars before. It was a time. And it was probably one of the worst conflicts in the entire world. No, seriously, it's the Second Congolese War was the deadliest conflict since World War II. So, because this is now the Third Congo War, yeah, no, that is not good. That is not good. That is not good because so I don't even know who supports Rwanda. Well, Rwanda's supporting the M23. I think they're like directly arming them too. Um, Oh, yep. Actually, Botswana is also there too. And what's the Oh, so yeah, this is also like an ethnic conflict as well. As I have seen, this is So yeah, pretty much. Actually, I mean, all the nations that I think I can prove that are pro Congo. I think it's this right now. Except I think Namibia and Zimbabwe definitely are. What is SAD? SADC mission. Oh, it's actually. Oh no, it's not Botswana. I was thinking of Lesotho. Oh wait a minute. It's actually South Africa, Tanzania, and Malawi. So yeah, they're allied to the Congo, along with Uganda, I think. They're actually an armed peacekeeping brigade, but they're still, but they're still de facto opposing. They're still like basically opposing. Also, more wars. The Sudanese Civil War. This is also part of the. This is part of the conflict as well. Um, So, I think, yeah, so I forget, I think the RSF is going to be, like, red. Actually, no, this is insane. This is an insanely tangled web. Because, yeah, hold on. Let me see. Is there, like, any... What are the casualties right now? 150,000 people, and then like 25 million people affected by famine, and then 8 million internally displaced, and then like 3 million refugees. That is amazing. It's amazingly horrible, is what I mean to say. Okay, but oh, hold on. What's the hold on.
I like it. Funny. Funny.
Alright, so the Sudanese government is actually red, and because, like, yeah, because it's supported apparently by the Congo, and yeah, and then the RSF is comparatively probably also actually not. Would it be gold? I'm sure. Oh, hold on, let me think. Gold. Yeah, because there's also rebels in South Sudan, which the rebels are going to be red, while South Sudan is green. No, South Sudan is also. Wait, no. Yeah, South Sudan is red. The rebels are probably, Oh yeah, so the RSF is in gold. Oh wait, no. Actually, yeah, the RSF would be in gold. So, I really don't know the front lines. So, like off, like, I think it's about, like, that. Except there's, like, some other, like, insurgency. There's also some, like, rebels in here or something. I don't know. It's, like, kind of like, sort of like that. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, crap, no. South Sudan is gold. Because, oh, crap. Wait, no. South Sudan is... Actually, no, that's correct. Because... No, it's not. No. No, it's not. That is not correct, in fact. Because Uganda's supporting South Sudan, which is supporting the RSF, which means South Sudan needs to be gold, along with the Sudanese government. And so that crap, no. Alright, yeah, it's insanely complicated. So let's say yellow is rebels, red is,
Funny.
like,
I don't like
governments.
that. I don't like
except, oh yeah, that works. Oh yeah, that works out then. That works out. Also, for some reason, the rebels are being aided by Mauritius. Which one's Mauritius? Oh yeah, that's Mauritius, I think. Yeah, that's Mauritius. So yeah, the rebels in South Sudan are getting aid from Mauritius, whilst the RSF is getting aid from Ethiopia, Chad, Libya, the Central African Republic, and Kenya. So yeah, this is, so I guess we're setting up so now it is time for the third Congo War, or the third African War, I guess. So generally the RSF is very slowly making gains, and they're committing horrible atrocities. So horrible that blood is visible from space. Or at least from Google Maps. So yeah, like,
I don't like that.
oh yeah, so the
I don't
rebels
like
in
that.
South Sudan are generally a bit more like
I don't like
sparse
that.
rather than like the front lines being. And the government is actually winning. They're winning out on that one. So, also, M23 is making gains in the Congo. Again, probably casualties right now are probably like about 1 million people, which is horrible. If a conflict has killed 1 million people, that means it's a big one. Actually, if a conflict kills more than 100,000 people, that means it's a big one. So, anyways, China finally does the inevitable. They invade Taiwan. So yeah, they moved their navy to blockade Taiwan. And also, they also harassed the Philippines, like, a good lot. And also use it to harass South Korea. So, then the American Navy, which, is actually stationed in Guam, meaning they don't have to leave, or actually just or a combination of navies, which are stationed in Guam, which I think is, like, here, generally. So yeah, the American Navy, which I will actually represent with a bit of a darker blue so it's easier to see. So yeah, the American Navy and the Chinese Navy engage in, like, massive naval battles. America needs to do a World War II style liberation of the Philippines, and also try to keep Taiwan alive. Also, the American Navy they've also gotten into Indonesia. They've also gotten through whatever the sea is called. I don't even know anymore. So China isn't actually trying to do a naval invasion here.
Want to hear a joke?
Well, they're trying to navally invade Taiwan. That's their main focus. But they're also trying to hold off the American Navy, which is quite powerful. It's more advanced. China has more vessels, but America is more advanced. So America just has to produce as many, they have to, produce as many ships as possible. Actually, both of them have to. So, the initial invasion would go quite well, as, I think Taiwan would mostly be left into just, pockets. There's, 2 main pockets guarding the south coast and the north coast. Also, there's partisans in this war, because of course there are. They generally be everywhere, and they're all a bit too small to actually see. So America, so the American Navy also They also move right next to Japan, because they do need to help. They do need to make sure.
Talking or yelling.
So yeah, they make a major naval breakthrough near the Chinese island of Hainan. So yeah, also China has to get as many soldiers out as possible. So they kind of have to. Also, North Korea invades South Korea. They have to do this insanely quickly, even though South Korea expected this, so they don't get that far. I mean, North Korea and South Korea, I think they're about equal in manpower, so, but South Korea is a bit more advanced, so China would probably take, I think the island's called Jeju or something, and yeah, China would need to use their navy to harass South Korea and probably. Also, general elections in Japan, the LDP wins. Well, actually, that would happen a while before this, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Now loud, talking or yelling.
America would have to make a naval breakthrough in South Korea, so thus, I guess the Second Korean War. Please ignore the horrible dad jokes in the background. That's also my brother's eye gaze thing. So now a bunch of amphibious landing campaigns are done here, a bunch of them. I'm talking a whole, all of this, one here, a bunch, so yeah, the initial invasion force would, they would, quickly well, I guess maybe not overwhelm, but yeah, they would do a landing at Incheon, sort of like the First Korean War, and also they would liberate Busan.
Now loud, talking or yelling.
Now, also, no, I keep saying loud talking or yelling.
Now loud, talking or yelling.
That's not a noise complaint. My brother just finds that funny. I'm not getting noise complaints. For the record. Okay, anyways, they might push into North Korea, but it wouldn't be like that much overall, considering
No
like
loud talking or yelling.
considering what's going on. Defending
No loud
Taiwan is
talking
more
or
important.
yelling.
So yeah, also cyber attacks are going on. So yeah,
Go back.
anyways, naval
Want to hear a
victory
joke?
against China. Anyways, in the meantime, like, the Chinese had, like, completely surrounded Taipei and pretty much obliterated the
No loud.
south. So, like, so anyways, yeah, like, this support was much needed. So,
No loud talking or
so China withdraws most of their navy from, like, South Asia, as they're being pushed back en masse. So anyways, America does more amphibious
loud
landing
talking or yelling.
campaigns. They tried to take the island of Hainan, mainly because it could also serve
No loud
as an
talking
operation
or
for an
go back.
invasion of China.
Want to hear a
For
joke?
the record, China has nukes. They only have like 300. North Korea has like, I think like 50. Actually no, they have 12. India has about 100 nukes, and America has over 5,000. So yeah, America and Russia are in like another arm.
No
So
loud talking or
like
yelling.
America and Russia. Hold on, let me. So America and Russia are in another arms race. Right
loud
now,
talking or
Russia
yelling.
has more nukes, but America is catching up. Actually, the difference isn't by that much.
No loud talking or yelling.
So, but yeah, America. There was a lot of talk about like deactivating nuclear stockpiles, but that didn't happen. So, Myanmar is currently in a civil war. China is. Actually, I don't know the neighbor. I don't know who people support. I just know the sides. I would say. But yeah, there's a war in Southeast Asia. I think Laos would side with China, and like Cambodia with the Americans. Actually, no. Cambodia would side against. Would side against mainly to fight Thailand. So they're not a war with America. They're just a war with like Thailand. So I guess I should. I'll denote that so they're a different color on the map. Alright, great. Now they're orange, I guess. That'll work. So yeah, they invade, now is not the time to stream, I swear. The eye gaze makes it pretty much impossible to, like, focus, I swear. But yeah, they wouldn't actually make it that far, but yeah, they'd probably push at least a bit. But yeah, I think, but yeah, generally Thailand would probably push back. So the next Southeast Asian war happens. I think generally, Thailand would win, so new government in Cambodia is installed as that joins the war. So, anyways, now it is, I guess, well, it's time for, so, China would not China would invade, at least part of North, at least part of the north. They want to just take out Hanoi like really quickly, and just get a swift victory to knock Vietnam out of the war. But Vietnam would do like expert like guerrilla warfare tactics. But yeah, they do stuff in like yeah, like yeah, China would also recruit probably several like paramilitary organizations. So yeah, that's what's going on. The guerrilla warfare takes a toll on the Chinese war effort, and so yeah, they have to rely on like paramilitary groups that honestly aren't that good. So yeah, Laos starts to so yeah, so like the camp. Actually, most of this area would be jungle, which is why they're crew paramilitaries. So anyways, yeah. After the fall of like the capital of Laos, Vientiane, they would pretty much their government would pretty much disintegrate. As a new government is installed. But China moves in to occupy that, like,
talking or yelling.
so like.
Not loud, talking or.
So yeah. Anyways, yeah, they land. So yeah, Allied forces. Yeah, I'm calling I'm calling this like the Allies. They land in Hanoi, and then they actually start pushing. So yeah, the Chinese evacuate out of Laos and Vietnam, mainly to conserve resources. They're hoping to like stall out. So yeah, landing in the Chinese homeland, it kind of works. It's just gonna remain like that.
Not loud, talking.
Yeah. See, collapse of just the general law and order or not law and order.
Not loud, talking or yelling.
But yeah, the cracks in China's hegemony are already showing. Generally because China's military is pretty strong, so the front line isn't gonna remain like that. Well, it is actually. That's what I was trying to say. It is. So, yeah.
Now loud talking or yelling.
So an offensive is launched in North Korea, and then they realize that they're losing. So Kim Jong Un. So like the North Korean government is like, okay, guys. So we're losing pretty badly. What do we do? And then they're all like, I think we should use our nukes. So North Korea does. How many nukes does North Korea have? Oh, North Korea's. Yeah, I was right. North Korea's like 50 nukes. There's gonna be like. So, most of their nukes are actually launched they're not launched at major cities. Well, actually, that's a lie. One is launched at Seoul. One is launched at Busan. I think one would be launched at like Tokyo. Oh, and then others would be launched at like Taipei, Manila, probably Hanoi, and also other like major military and naval bases. And then North Korea launches pretty much their entire nuclear stockpile, and in response, America does not nuke North Korea or China. They instead assassinate Kim Jong Un, the leader of North Korea, because hold on. What? Yeah, I'm pretty sure killing I'm pretty sure they I'm pretty sure like North Korea they would probably they would launch their nuclear stockpile. But there's not real but they already used it. So there's nothing wrong. So there's no point in not doing that. So basically, North Korea falls into disarray, and the U.S. and their ally. They probably. I mean, if they weren't seeking nuclear war, they would have withdrawn. But they weren't. Well, they weren't seeking nuclear war. Why would they? But yeah, they have to get North Korea just out. Okay. So yeah. So I don't torture you for any longer. I'm just gonna keep talking. So Pyongyang would fall to the Allies. So Chinese naval supremacy over this sea. I don't know what it's called. It would effectively vanish as the U.S. nears the Chinese homeland. And so naturally, China threatens nuclear war if Allied forces cross the Yalu River. and America's like, well, you have 300 nukes. We have 7,000. We have about 7,000. The odds are stacked again. The odds are stacked against China. The odds are stacked against China. That's what the West says. I'm sorry if I didn't clarify. But yeah. So yeah, sure. Actually, China would probably have more like 400 or 500, while the West is like 7,000 or something. So yeah, the odds are stacked against China. That's what I already said. If a nuclear war breaks out, America has like. America has the technology to survive. At least a small fraction, at least. Now, I'm not going to turn this into the Fallout world, so let's say China annexes. So let's say China goes to the remnants of the North Korean government and is like, "Hey, can we annex you?" And North Korea's like, "Okay, sure." So yeah, China now owns North Korea. So now they have to divide. Now they. Also, I did sort of forget. North Korea and Russia have a mutual defense pact. So because the West is never mind. So because the West is invading North Korea, Russia has to invade the West. So Russia and their Ukrainian puppet joined the war. But they actually.
Not loud, talking or yelling.
They try to invade the northern island, and so they try to. Actually, no, they don't invade. Actually, well, no, Russia. The Russian Navy could probably manage to make. They could probably manage to like maybe get a one naval victory over the Americans, and then probably launch an invasion of Hokkaido. But I don't think it would go anywhere, as that's mainly just to keep the Allies, not the West, at bay, so they can launch their ultimate plan. They're gonna invade Europe. So Russia goes and annexes Belarus. It's time, Lukashenko, or something like that. So yeah, now it's time for World War III, or I guess World War III Part 2. Europe at war. So yeah, basically, Russia starts by trying to link up Kaliningrad. They try to link up with Kaliningrad, which is quite difficult. Well, actually, it's not quite difficult. At least. As So yeah, now they link up with Kaliningrad and start invading Poland while committing horrible atrocities. So much so that the war gets called a genocide.
Not loud, talking, or yelling.
Also, Moldova is mostly in ex-Transnistria, and yeah, so Kiev falls. And a bit of southern Ukraine remains. So Ukraine actually doesn't join NATO, at least not immediately. So yeah. So anyways, Article 5 is triggered, so thus Romania and Moldova join the war. Hungary joins, Slovakia, Austria isn't in NATO, Croatia, Slovenia, Bulgaria, yeah, Albania, North Macedonia, yeah, Turkey, Italy, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, Luxembourg, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Czechia. Yeah, also Denmark. And also Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. And also Spain and Portugal. And Greece. I can't forget about Greece. And probably also Cyprus.
Not loud, talking, or yelling. Not loud.
And also Syria, because yes. Also Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan joined the war. So yeah, that's the size in World War III for ya. Oh yeah, also Canada joins the war. See all that, including Ireland. Oh yeah, Ireland joins the war too, because why not?
Not loud, talking, or yelling.
Also, Venezuela joins the war because they're an American puppet state. Well, practically an American puppet state. Well, they're not really a. Alright, they're half. They're half. What am I even saying? Yeah, they're only partially a puppet state. Let's say only partially. So yeah, because all of this is happening. What ends up breaking out is war. War ends up breaking out.
Not loud, talking, or yelling.
So anyways, anyways, that is the Third Congo War. Also, more nations join. More nations take sides. Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Yeah, case in point. Also, Eritrea joins the red side. So, now. Oh, my nose. Hold on. Oh no. Oh, that'll work. So yeah, Ethiopia invades Eritrea. Which is a dictatorship. So essentially, it's a bunch of dictators fighting a bunch of dictators. Well, for the most part. South Africa and the Congo are both functioning democracies, so. Yeah, the rebels in South Sudan are actually aligned with. Oh, yeah, South Sudan. Oh, yeah, Uganda is actually like that. I think that's actually what's happening, and there's like just rebels in South Sudan. So the Central African Republic is quite unstable, so the DRC. So the DRC begins invading them. Let's see here. Basically, all law and order ends up collapsing as the country is annexed into, as Chad annexes. Yeah, it's annexed into its larger neighbor, Chad. South Sudan also collapses, but they don't join any country, so yeah. So yeah, that's yeah. Let's get back to the war in Europe. That's that. Also, I was gonna say Estonia. Latvia's cooked. Yeah, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania all fall, and so the islands. So there aren't that many naval battles there, but there are in Asia, as Asia is just a bunch of islands. Well, actually, the world is a bunch of islands, technically. Just some islands are called continents, that's all. So anyways, an amphibious landing campaign on the Kuril Islands is carried out. So Japan annexes the South Kuril Islands. Because they now actually control them. So anyways, the nuclear wreckage has been, for the most part, it's been tamed. I wouldn't say put under control. Though I guess tamed and put under control mean the same things. So because this is now a world war, China now has Russia to prey on.
Not loud, talking, or yelling.
Well, not prey on, but... Also, Russia also violated the Geneva Convention several times, actually, during this war. So yeah, so conflict in Asia is brewing. So Afghanistan and Pakistan joined the war as Pakistan puppeted Afghanistan. So yeah, now Russia invades other countries. I didn't mention this, but they do. Where's my pens? All right. So yeah, an invasion of Iran begins. Oh crap, Egypt isn't... Oh crap, Egypt is actually supporting that side. And yeah, this is really complicated. As Saudi Arabia is also in the war now because they just are. I don't know. I don't need a reason to say stuff. Also, Egypt and Ethiopia are now at war with each other. Wow, I wonder where I've seen this before. Wow, where have I seen this dumb plot line before? Also, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, and also Lebanon and Palestine. I called Israel Palestine. Oh crap. Israel and Palestine, maybe not. Probably because they have better things to do. So also, Algeria joins the war, and yeah, Morocco and Tunisia are now a thing. So I think I'm actually going to color this alliance, like, completely differently. They're going to be orange. Also, the DA defeated the ANC in the, elections. Because, yeah. So it's orange versus yellow. That map is not going to be confusing at all. So Algeria and Libya joined the war, and also Western Sahara. So anyways, yeah, now that's So yeah, now Egypt starts invading Libya. Yeah, because why not? Actually, no, they wouldn't. Yeah, they don't. They don't. Ignore that. They don't. So yeah, the second sand war begins between Algeria, the Western Sahara, Libya, and Morocco. So Libya and Algeria invade Tunisia because, yes, I don't know. You don't need a reason to invade a country. You don't need a reason to invade a country. This is modern warfare. Alright, well, you don't need a good reason. See, Algeria spearheads into Morocco. Hoping that America wouldn't join the war. So Morocco is now part of NATO.
Not loud, talking or yelling.
Oh no, I see where this is going. So, so yeah, Tunisia does end up caving, so, and thus, yeah, so yeah, basically Gaddafi's son, I think his name's like Saif Gaddafi. Yeah, Saif al-Islam Gaddafi. He is Gaddafi's son. And basically, he overthrew the Libyan government and now formed the Great Socialist Arab Jamahiriya. Yes, that is his entire name, and yes, that is quite a mouthful. So the Great Socialist Arab Jamahiriya is actually on the side of the yellow team in the African War, but on the side of the red team in the World War. But but they're currently focusing on Morocco, so I'm having them. Actually, I prioritize teams in the World War rather than teams in the African War, so yeah. So, yeah, a massive offensive into Morocco is launched. Which now means, so yeah. Also, an invasion into Tunisia begins. As also Serbia, Kosovo, Montenegro, Austria, and Bosnia all join the war because Serbia managed. Yeah, the West goes to Serbia and is like, "Hey, please chill out," and yeah, and like Serbia's like, okay. It's kind of unrealistic, but the only way I could see it, but it's the only way I could see of solving this without. Well, I mean, like, they probably wouldn't want to invade Serbia. So, anyways, I guess. So, yeah,
Loud talking or yelling.
so Algeria falls, and then most of Libya does. So, and Egypt also launches their own invasion. So yeah, that's it. That's the map now. And yeah, the Great Socialist Arab Jamahiriya is dissolved. And Western Sahara is annexed into Morocco. So, sorry about that. My dad came into the room again. But yeah, alright, so yeah. So section 1 of the treaty is that, Egypt will annex, Egypt will annex, Egypt will annex Egypt will annex border regions from Libya. Actually, they might. Oh no. I know Egypt will. I don't know. Actually, no. Egypt, Libya, and the great Arab socialist Jamahariya will be dissolved, with Egypt getting a puppet state Egypt getting 2 puppet states in Libya. Morocco will annex land from Algeria. I don't know, yeah, Morocco will actually, no, the border regions they annex will be more like that. And then the Republic of Greater Tunisia will be established. The Republic of Greater Tunisia will be established. Algeria will be split up into 2 countries, and then so yeah, that is how the Jamahariya gets split up. So yeah, that's Morocco. These 2 nations join the war, and these 2 nations join the war. Greater Tunisia, Tripolitania, like Pheasant, and like Cyrenaica, and and then like the Maghreb and Algiers. Anyways, I have to eat now. I'll finish this war up. Honestly, I just want to finish what's happened. Well, I guess not finish it, but I'll continue what's happening in Africa. So the Sudanese armed forces launches a major offensive with the help of Egypt, and Chad is now sandwiched. As the Congo takes their capital, I think it's called something along the lines of N'Djamena. I don't pronounce African languages very well, so sorry if I butchered the pronunciation. But yeah, Chad mostly surrendered. Chad surrenders. After this, a major offensive into Darfur is launched. Launched with the goal of taking El Fasher, the de facto capital of the Rapid Support Forces government. They take El Fasher, and the RSF capitulates. Fights the rebels in South Sudan, and also Uganda switches sides. Along with Kenya. So the only two nations left are Ethiopia and Rwanda. So Ethiopia is quite soft competition. Well, they have a lot of people. They have like 100 million people, but like that doesn't mean they're that strong. So Ethiopia surrenders. Eritrea is quote-unquote liberated since their dictatorship. They're literally Africa's North Korea. So yeah, there you go. That's it. That's the war in Africa. That's the Third Congo War for ya. In total, the casualties would total up to about probably like 6 to 12 million. I wasn't gonna say 6, 7. Yeah, between like 6 to 12 million people would die in this conflict, making it one of the most brutal conflicts in history. If you, right now, it is most likely the most brutal conflict in this live stream, excluding literally World War III. Unless you count this as part of World War III, as lots of nations did take sides in World War III. So the peace treaty to end the Great African War, to end the Third African War, technically, if you count the Congo Wars. If you count the Congo Wars as African wars, the peace treaty goes as such. East Africa shall federalize. As with, yeah, that's the big thing. The East African Union shall be federalized. Under the East African Federation shall be, like, federalized. Yes, I said that too many times, I think. The Central African Republic shall be restored, annexing land from Chad. And Eritrea shall annex land from Ethiopia. Sudan will do the same. And, yeah, that's... I'm redrawing the boundaries. And, yeah, that's Africa for you. That's pretty much all of the changes I can think. It's pretty much. And, yeah, that's, well, we'll continue this, we'll continue this, with, World War III, that, oh, no. But for now, all of this is up to your imagination. Oh boy.